Hello and welcome to Mad About Sports. As you all know, the IPL season is nearing, so here we are with team previews before the start of the season. And today we have with us the team from Delhi Capitals, as they call themselves. For Delhi Capitals, it's been a long 15 years in the IPL. They've come close, they've had some phenomenal stars over the years, but they've not found that ultimate push to get to the silverware. A story some of the teams in the IPL could relate to as well. But let's understand what is it about Delhi this season, and can they finally get their hands on that coveted IPL trophy? Now, if we talk about Delhi's successful seasons, you guys remember the season in 2009 where Delhi was having a phenomenal season where they came to the semi-final of the IPL and they had a downfall there. That season, they had ABD Villiers playing for them. They had likes of Virendra Sehwag, Gautam Gambhir playing for them, Dan Vittori, Dinesh Karthik. You remember that Delhi Daredevils side, rather. In 2012, once again, a team which had Kevin Peterson, Jayawardene, the team once again had Virendra Sehwag there as well. A team did very well to come to the playoffs and again fall off in the playoff. The best finish was in the final, and it happened in 2020 under the leadership of Shreyas Iyer. Now, Shreyas Iyer definitely switched his bases. Now, he is going to be leading KKR, and there are question marks as to whether he's going to be even playing the IPL or not. That's a different debate altogether. But now for Delhi Capitals, even before the season started, their biggest downfall happened when Rishabh Pant met with that unfortunate accident and he ruled themselves out of the IPL. Now, what that meant for Delhi Capitals, right? Now, for Delhi Capitals, that meant they had to search for a new captain. They had to look for a wicket keeping option. Now, what do you get in Rishabh Pant is he's a marketable asset for sure, but other than that, he's an Indian wicketkeeper batter. Now, if you have to find an Indian wicketkeeper batter of Rishabh Pant's stature across the country, you can maybe handpick a couple of them at max at this point of stage, because Rishabh Pant is certainly at his peak of his powers when before he met his accident, of course. And that is where the Delhi Capitals and everyone will be hoping that he returns very quickly back to cricket, and at least by the start of the next season, they can have him back leading the Delhi Capitals side. Now, what is that Delhi Capital did before the start of the season? They appointed David Warner as the captain of the Delhi Capitals. Now, you know, David Warner has got a very good track record in the IPL. He led Sunrisers Hyderabad to their maiden ever IPL trophy. Now, prior time around, there was a team from Hyderabad which won the IPL, was Deccan Chargers, and Sunrisers Hyderabad won their maiden ever IPL trophy in 2016 under David Warner. So that was his peak of his powers. That was his greatest achievement as an IPL skipper, of course. And there was a fall off again between David Warner and the Sunrisers Hyderabad franchise, which meant he had to switch bases as well. He made a comeback as well to the Delhi franchise last season, and he really showed what he can do with the bat. Now, at this point of stage in David Warner's career, one can say this could be the added motivation which is going to possibly bring the best out of David Warner. In the recent tour to India, you saw David Warner looked like an exhausted man. He also came out saying that he is very exhausted with cricket. The mentally, it's not really taking him well. So these are some of the factors which you need to consider. Now, giving him that responsibility will mean a double-edged sword. It could either totally bog him down or it could bring the best out of him. A lot of people who have watched David Warner over the years will definitely identify that he is a player who definitely enjoys responsibility. He's a player who definitely likes to lead from the front. His best season, where he scored 800 plus ones, came in 2016, where he was a skipper of Sunrisers Hyderabad. And that's something which the Delhi Capitals franchise will be hoping as well. Let's look at the previous season to understand where they went wrong in the previous season. If you all remember, last season they had to go down to the wire. There was a must-win game against Mumbai Indians where Delhi Capitals couldn't cross the line, and that meant RCB went ahead of Delhi Capitals into the playoffs as well. The match took place in Wankhede. But let's look at the win-loss ratio to understand how did they really have that disastrous season, which is quite unlike the Delhi standards. Now, the major factor for Delhi Capitals' win and loss is the auction, right? Now, when we talk about the mega auction, some of the teams have had huge rewards out of the mega auction. Some of the teams were ripped apart because of the mega auction as well. Delhi Capitals is certainly one of those franchises which was ripped apart, primarily because they had built a core. They had Kagiso Rabada, they had Ravichandran Ashwin. Now you're talking about Shikhar Dhawan, who was batting phenomenally well for them. They had these players to really form a core to really take this team to the next level. They definitely have Shreyas Iyer as well, another Indian middle order bat. Any Indian middle order bat who can really do well in the middle order is gold dust in the IPL. Now let's understand how they went about in the last season. 14 games were played. They only managed to win seven, which meant they only claimed 14 points at the end of it. Now, they batted first five times, out of which they won three out of it. And that's something one can say it's still 50-50 to an extent, because their bowling attack wasn't the best at the end of the day. Their bowling attack definitely had a lot of issues. If you look from a larger perspective, their bowling attack did not really show what they can really go out there and do. Unlike the bowling attacks which they really put out in the park in 2020, 2021, this bowling attack definitely did have its holes in a major way. But still, they went on a different totals three times when they batted first, and when they batted second, of course, they had a better record. Now, as you can see in that graph as well, they went on to win four times when they went on to bat second. One can say they prefer batting second, not really though. Now, one of the factors when they wanted to bat second was Prithvi Shaw had to give them off to good starts, and Prithvi Shaw did do it in most of these occasions. Prithvi Shaw, as you all know, is a player who bats for himself, who bats for the team, not for himself, but he bats in a way where he can really take out the opposition. He is just a player who does not matter about stats. It does not matter about what the situation of the game is. He'll just keep going, and that's the best part about it. If you need a modern day T20 batter in Prithvi Shaw, and that is what Prithvi Shaw can provide in your team, that quick starts which can really help your team to score big as well. Prithvi Shaw really did give them that impetus, and on occasions when David Warner and Prithvi Shaw did get along well, that really did give the Delhi Capitals team that confidence to go out there and take down oppositions as well. Now, some of the biggest victories for them came up against Punjab Kings, one of those games where they bowled out Punjab Kings in a cheap score, and they looked to chase it. They chased it around in 10 to 11 overs as well. So that is the strength of the Delhi Capitals team as well. They can chase down totals to a good effect, because that's what they did the last season. Though Rishabh Pant did not have the best of seasons once again, he's not been having the best of seasons since the start of the pandemic, one can say so, because he's definitely lost the touch or the mojo in T20 cricket. So that is one factor which they really had to deal with throughout the last season. But let's understand the batting versus the bowling figures to understand how they went about in the entirety of the season. If you look at the batting versus bowling figures, while batting first, on more occasions than not, they did score near to 180, 175 odd runs, and that one can say that it's a decent score in T20 cricket. And they did play in some of the grounds like Brabant. They did play in some of the grounds like DY Patil, uh, and Wankhede, of course, and in Pune as well, couple of games there. But if you look at the wickets as well, they only have lost close to 5 wickets a match while batting first, which is very decent. Which means they've not really lost wickets in slump where the lower order had to come in to play more often than not. It was basically the middle order who had to do a lot of scoring throughout the last season. They did go heavily on a player like Rovman Powell as well, which we'll be talking later on. And of course, while bowling first, they did concede as well close to 170, 180 odd runs, and they did pick up close to 7 wickets a match. Of course, you had players like Khalil Ahmed coming into the party. He did have a decent season last time around, and most of it, the best of the season was with Kuldeep Yadav, who came in as the game changer for them. It was a game changing season for Kuldeep Yadav, the player himself as well, because at the start of the season, a lot of players did say Kuldeep Yadav is not the go-to man for Delhi Capitals, primarily because they were replacing Ravichandran Ashwin, who was an experienced campaigner, with, of course, an attacking bowler in Kuldeep Yadav. But Kuldeep Yadav's confidence, he was coming after an injury layoff. A lot of question marks were on Kuldeep Yadav before the start of the season, but he did manage out pretty well. Now, if you look at that graph once again, you can understand how while batting second as well, they have been able to really chase down scores. Now, as you look in the previous graph as well, they won 4 times batting second. And that's primarily because they were able to score at a good clip. Now, the biggest issue they've had is while bowling second, they've conceded close to 180, 190, 180, 170 once as well. Now that has been the issue. Though they picked up wickets, but they've conceded once. One of the games against Royal Challengers Bangalore, where they had Royal Challengers Bangalore 5 down for 60 odd runs, but yet they let Royal Challengers Bangalore to chase 160 odd in Wankhede, where Shahbaz Ahmed and Dinesh Karthik came into the party and took off the Delhi Capitals bowling attack. Mustafizur Rahman was a disappointment, one can say so. He did not have the season which a lot of people did expect him to have, and that's been Mustafizur Rahman's story since 2016 IPL. The first IPL where he came under the leadership of David Warner, he really set the stage on fire, helping Sunrisers Hyderabad to win that IPL trophy. But since then, after having so many injuries, he has really lost that track of length. When you talk about a ball like Mustafizur Rahman, it's all about him landing that off cutters on the right length, because his off cutters, once he started landing a bit short of length, batters found it much more easier to line up against him and take him to the square boundaries as well. That was one of the primary reasons why Mustafizur Rahman was ineffective in that Delhi Capitals lineup. Now, what is another reason why Delhi Capitals do not have the best of season when it comes to defending totals primarily as well? Though one can say they only lost twice defending totals and they lost more often than not while chasing, you have to look into another major factor here as well. Andre Nokia's injury. He did miss a lot of games to start off with, and when he came, he looked extremely rusty and he really didn't look in place at all. And Andre Nokia's injury was one of the primary reasons why they had to rely on bowlers like Mustafizur Rahman, and obviously on Khalil Ahmed as well, who are still inexperienced bowlers to start off with. And they also had to look into someone like a Chetan Sakriya, who had a middling season to an extent, one can say so. And Akshar Patel as well. Akshar Patel did not have the best of seasons with the ball. If you remember, if you compare him with all the other IPL seasons, last season was where he did have a decent season with the bat, but not definitely the best of season with the ball. He had an okay season as to one can see so. But let's look at the best batters, right? Who Delhi Capitals had to offer last time around, and possibly who can possibly have a breakthrough season this time around. Let's understand that. Rahman Powell, obviously, he was the go-to man. He was coming after having some brilliant knocks in Caribbean season where he went on to set the CPL and obviously for the West Indies team also on fire. And he was the most discussed player before the start of the IPL as well. He did come to India and put up some of the shows as well. So he was the go-to man, and he had a very middling season. He had an average season scoring 250 runs and also at a strike rate of 150. That's something which you will get on any given day with Rahman Powell, that he will be scoring an extra 150 strike rate or near to 150 strike rate. Mitchell Marsh, obviously, when you talk about Mitchell Marsh, he's a player who's hit and go as well. He's highly injury prone. He's one player, if you can invest rightly on him and if you can get at least 12 to 13 games out of him, it is a bonus. You know what Mitchell Marsh can do. In the recently concluded series where Australia went on to defeat India in that one day series as well, the starts which Mitchell Marsh can give up top is invaluable. It is something which he can create an instant impact and take the game away from you. And that's something which Jelly Capitals will be hoping that he does this season. And they definitely not want him to overball as well. He'll only ball if the situation or demands need to be. Prithvi Shaw, once again, did not have the greatest of seasons. He did give them off to some really flying starts in striking in extra 150, and that's something which you will get from Prithvi Shaw on any given day. But consistency is something which Prithvi Shaw will be really, really hoping that he improves this season and helps Delhi Capitals to put that accelerator on the pedal. And Rishabh Pant as well. Definitely, he had a season where he scored 310 runs, but strike rate was good. But 310 runs is something which you don't expect from Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant, when he's at the peak of his powers, we expect at least a 400, 450 run season. Now, when we did analyze Gujarat Titans, the link is in the description. You can check that video out. We did speak about how three middle order bats, or when you have three batters or two middle order batter who scores 400 plus runs, can make a lot of difference for your team. Because right now in T20 cricket, it's coming down to middle order bats who can come in and change the complexion of the game from over 7 to 15. And that's where Rishabh Pant could really take that mantle on and create that impact for Delhi Capitals. He did it in a couple of occasions, but that was not impactful enough for Delhi Capitals to cross the line more often than not. Obviously, when you talk about David Warner, he had a decent season, but not like the David Warner season which you expect him to have. A David Warner season is a season where he gives you 600 runs in excess of 150 strike rate, and he scores a lot of 50s because he's the IPL player with most number of 50s right now, and that's a record which David Warner holds, and that's an impact which David Warner always creates, regardless of whichever franchise he plays for. He comes in and scores ones, and hopefully this season for Delhi Capitals and Delhi fans across the world will be hoping that David Warner really creates that impact, being the skipper leading from the front. Now let's go to the ballers, right? Who are the best ballers in the Delhi team who really made that impact? We did speak about Mustafizur Rahman. Mustafizur Rahman, one could say, picked up 8 wickets in excess of 7 rounds economy. Is an average season for a bowler like Mustafizur Rahman, but Andre Nokia, obviously, he did went for a lot of runs, and that was the difference. Andre Nokia on a very good season will go at 8 runs per over or 7.1, 7.5, and will pick you at least 15 to 20 wickets, and that is the difference. And they did not have Kagitso Rabada as well with this team, because Kagitso Rabada did move the franchise. He did go up north to Punjab, and that's where he's based in at this point. And Nokia not being available for most of the matches also meant that they had to look at different options. Shardul Thakur, who they now traded to the Kolkata Knight Riders, who was one of the biggest buy at 10.75 crores. They did invest heavily on Shardul Thakur to be the all-round difference lower down the batting order, but he did not come well with the bat, nor did he really come well with the ball. He did pick up 15 wickets, but he did go near to 10 runs per over as well, if you look in the larger scheme of things. Khalil Ahmed definitely was the bright prospect, as we already did discuss. He did come up and pick up some wickets up front with the ball, swinging the ball up top, and as we did discuss in the last few videos as well, playing in Mumbai last season meant a lot of these wickets were fresh, and with a sea breeze blowing, the swing ballers did come into play on most of those games. And Kuldeep Yadav was the game changer. For Kuldeep Yadav, it was a breakthrough season, and that's what has set his career on path once again. He picked up 21 wickets. He was their go-to bowler. And this season, once again, a lot of this workload will depend on Kuldeep Yadav. One name which is missing on this list is Akshar Patel. Akshar Patel, he's a vice captain of this Delhi Capitals squad at this point. A lot of responsibility entrusted upon him, one can say so. But yeah, he is definitely going to be the man this season around to watch out for. If Akshar Patel can take up the responsibility with the bat, but right now, remember, he's coming off some of the best test innings we've seen him play. And at the same time, he's also played a couple of one-day and limited overs knocks, which really sets him apart as a proper T20 or a limited overs all-rounder. Now, if he can take up the responsibility to come up the order at times and make or play some of the game-changing knocks and give them 3 or 4 overs with the ball, that's going to create a lot of impact for this Delhi Capitals franchise in terms of creating that balance as well. Now let's look at the predicted lineup to understand what to expect from this Delhi Capitals squad and who are the players we should be looking out for from this season. Now, definitely, Rishabh Pant is not part of the squad, and we should be ready for that to accept. Now, Sarfaraz Khan, a player who has been knocking the door of Indian selectors in the longer format. Now, he has been told by the Delhi Capitals franchise and management to keep wickets in the DY Patil and Reliance tournament, which was held in Mumbai. Through the course of that tournament, he also broke his finger. That's another thing. But he is going to be the likely candidate to keep wickets for the Delhi franchise this season. Remember, he's definitely going to get a lot of opportunities this time around, and he has to do a job for Delhi Capitals as well. He definitely prefers batting up top, because a red ball batter who definitely bats in the middle order definitely prefers batting up top in the T20 in the franchise league or whichever T20 game he plays. But if he's going to be given that opportunity to bat at number 4, this is an opportunity for Sarfraz Khan to take with 2 hands and really make an impact. Last time around, there were a lot of criticism on the Delhi management for not giving Sarfraz Khan a long rope. But here is an opportunity for Sarfraz Khan. The management really relies on him. And if he's going to keep the wickets for Delhi Capitals, it's going to be very interesting to see how he goes about it with the bat as well. Coming in at number 4, filling the shoes of Rishabh Pant is a big task, but definitely he's got the potential to do it. And once again, it comes down to Mitchell Marsh, Ravman Powell, and Akshar Patel. The 3 all-rounders will have to do that bulk of the scoring towards the latter end and to create that X factor difference. When we talk about T20 teams, X factor players are so crucial. We've also added another player, Mukesh Kumar, which we'll be talking about him right now. But these 3 all-rounders will be the difference. And also Lalit Yadav, he's been part of the squad since 2020. He's played some important knocks for them, but this is the season for him to come off age as well, because this team lacks a lot of depth at this point of stage, primarily because they've lost Rishabh Pant. They have to fit in different pieces to form a proper 11. And once again, he'll be upon Prithvi Shaw also to be consistent alongside David Warner. But at the same time, for these all-rounders, likes of Mitchell Marsh, Ravman Powell, Lalit Yadav, and Akshar Patel to come into the fore and create all the difference. Now, Mukesh Kumar is definitely added into the predicted 11. He can be used as an option to pick up wickets up front, to swing the ball up front, give that opening burst with Khalil Ahmed, or else they can go to a ball like Kamlesh Nagargoti as well, or even to go with Chetan Sakaria, because these are the options they have at this point to maybe switch around a little bit if they have to tinker around with the 11, or else they can go to Mukesh Kumar, because Mukesh Kumar has had a decent season with Bengal, both in the red ball format and also in the limited overs format as well. We also did do a video on Mukesh Kumar. You can check that out as to how and who is Mukesh Kumar and how did he get this big IPL contract that he got with Delhi Capitals. So this is a squad we are expecting to be lined up for Delhi Capitals. So Delhi Capitals will be now back to Firozshah Kotla. Firozshah Kotla has never favored Delhi Capitals quite really, because a lot of these overseas batters doesn't really like playing on those wickets, which is slow and low, and where the ball doesn't come onto the bat pretty well. But if their spinners can make the most out of it, likes of Akshar Patel, likes of Kuldeep Yadav, if they can really come into the party, and if they also use Lalit Yadav to the best of effect, then this becomes a much, much more potent team to beat at home. If Delhi Capitals can win 7 out of their 8 games at least in Firozshah Kotla, or at least 6 out of their 7 games in Firozshah Kotla, that is going to be the difference for the Delhi Capitals team, because playing at home and winning games at home in a home and away season is so important, because if you can make your home your fortress, then away wins you can get a couple of them here and there, and all of a sudden you will be in contention to make it to the top four. Delhi Capitals should ideally aim finishing in the top 3 or 4, because aiming at 1 and 2 with this squad could be an unimaginable thing, one can say so at this point in stage, but you never know with IPL. Things can change pretty quickly, but 3 and 4 is definitely a possible aim that they can keep with the squad. And with the leadership of Ricky Ponting and David Warner, there's an Australian touch to it. They look to play aggressive cricket and to play positive brand of cricket as well. So this is going to be an exciting season for Prithvi Shaw, David Warner, Mitchell Marsh, and all of these players in the Delhi Capital squad. So expect some fireworks there as well. Thank you for watching this video. That is about it from analyzing the Delhi Capitals squad and what to expect from them this season. And there are some exciting players to watch out for as well. If you haven't already watched our previous videos on Chennai Super Kings and Gujarat Titans, check that out as well. These previews will keep coming, so stay tuned, subscribe to our channel, and also share this video with all your friends and families so that we can keep bringing you all these exciting updates and news and tactical analysis as well. Take care, all of you. Bye bye.